It is important to prepare very carefully and thoroughly before you appear for your driving test. The average pass rate throughout Australia is about 62%, it varies statewide. In NSW, it's about 55%. And many times, driving test gets terminated even before it starts, due to inadequate documents and the non-roadworthiness of the vehicle. However, if you prepare properly, you can make it through in first go, without facing any of these difficulties. Instructor Sharif has experienced thousands of driving test situations in different centres across Sydney. Today, he will discuss few of the most important tips about how to prepare for the driving test appropriately. He will suggest what to bring as your complete documents checklist, what to do after arriving at the test centre, how to make sure the vehicle is acceptable for the driving test, and what should be your correct mindset while driving during the test. Let's listen from him.
What to bring? Now, on the test day, you must arrive at least 15 minutes beforehand. Make sure you bring all your required documents. Consider this checklist for preparing. Number 1. NSW driving learner license. Preferably the physical card, otherwise the digital license is also equally acceptable. But make sure your mobile will be accessible to show it to the counter before the test starts. Number 2. Logbook. If you are under 25 years of age, you have to complete 120 hours on either paper-based logbook or the digital logbook. Make sure you have completed at least 20 hours of night driving, whereas the driving start time must be after sunset for it to be accepted as night hours. Why it is important? Because sun sets significantly on different times, rotating throughout the year. So if your night driving start entry is before the sun sets, then it won't be accepted as night driving. And as a consequence, if you are shortfall of night driving even by few minutes, most likely your test will be terminated and you will need to reschedule your test by paying the full test fees again. It is also important that all the 20 learning goals and the declaration on the last page are completed and signed correctly. If you have completed a digital logbook, make sure you have submitted it through the app at least 48 hours beforehand of your driving test. Round trip app will automatically calculate your 120 driving hours and ensure you have completed all 20 learning goals and your hazard perception test sign off before you submit. You will then be able to submit your hours through the app on the profile page. Note carefully, Transport for NSW is moving to a single logbook app model with round trip being the only official app moving forward. If you are a new learner driver, please use the round trip app. From 29th of June 2024, License Ready will no longer be accepted by Transport for NSW as an official app for logging and submitting your learner driver logbook hours. To minimize being impacted by this change and transfer the hours you have already logged, you can choose from the options listed on the Service NSW website. Here I have given you the link in the description box below. If you are converting an overseas license, then consider this checklist. Number 1. Your original overseas driving license. If it's not in English, you must bring an accepted translation copy of it either from Multicultural NSW or Department of Home Affairs. The links can be found below in the description box. Number 2. NSW photo ID card. Number 3. If you don't have the NSW photo ID card, then you can bring your passport and a bank card or bank statement with your name and address on it. Number 4. The verification letter of your overseas license. The Service NSW Center might have asked you to present a verification letter of your overseas license when you have showed it to them at the time of your DKT test. However, if you have already submitted the verification letter once to them, you must bring it along with you each time you attend the driving test. License from some of the countries like India, Pakistan, Nepal can be checked and verified through their corresponding government website, which can be checked by the testing officer before the test starts. If you have checked it yourself on your government website, you can bring the printout copy with you if it's done on the same day. Note, as of now, license from Telangana state of India is not verifiable through website and thus need to bring a verification letter from the VFS. However, Service NSW Center usually does not ask a verification letter for most of the other countries unless you have lost the physical license or it is inconsistent with their record, or some of the important information is missing like your date of birth or first issue day of the license or so. In this case, if you are in doubt, better to present all your documents to a Service NSW Center manager and ask if you require to bring any additional documents on the test day. I prefer to talk to the manager as they are the decision maker for the center, and how they take a decision can be different than what someone has informed you earlier at the front desk or over the phone from the Service NSW Center. Number 5. You may need to bring a document to support your changes of name on different IDs. For example, if your name on overseas license is different than on your learner license or any photo ID like your passport or so, then you must bring your marriage certificate or a name change certificate as a proof. After arriving, when you reach at the center, park your car at the designated driving test car park area. Park reverse in so that you can drive off easy. Take your documents, lock the car, and head towards the center. When you enter the center, you need to report to the concierge. Staff will assist you to check your documents, including your license application form, your ID, and will check your vehicle registration. Then he will issue you a ticket and will advise you to wait near the testing officer desk. When the nominated testing officer is ready, will call you by your name and not by the ticket number. Approach to the examiner. Submit all your documents. If the examiner is happy with all your documents, will ask you to sign a couple of documents and will walk towards the car along with you. Car inspection. Before the examiner gets into the car, he will inspect the road worthiness of it. He will ask you to sit in and put the ignition on and show the indicators, brake lights. He will also check the tires by himself. You must make sure all the 6 indicators, including the 2 side indicators, if you have any fitted on your car, are functional, and all the 3 brake lights, including the middle one, is working. You can also check the level of your tires tread by the pointers marked on the tires. If any part of the tire is completely bald, then the car will be rejected for the driving test. The examiner also checks the windscreen and side mirrors. If no major cracks is found, then it's fine. Note, if you have mistakenly started the car at this stage of inspection, it's not a big mistake. If you are driving a car that starts by inserting and twisting a key in the keyhole, putting ignition on may confuse you thinking you have already started the car. As a consequence, if you start driving in this condition, the car will not drive. Being stressed and panicked at the situation, if you keep trying to start the car, twisting the key multiple times will not work, because the car starts only if the gear is selected to the P or N mode. If you could not rectify the mistake by yourself and the examiner had to intervene, that will cause you a fail item F6, which is action requiring testing of your intervention.
If you don't understand clearly what all these mean, don't worry. Sharif has made a separate video tutorial how to start the car correctly before starting the test. You can find this video link in the description box below. We recommend you to watch it.
Even before you have started driving at your test, it will cause you a fail. So make sure the car has fully started before you shift your gear from P, parking, to D, drive. Look at the tachometer to see if it's over 0, or find the ready sign on a hybrid or electric car to confirm it has started properly. Test start. After checking the car, the examiner will come and sit next to you, will give you a brief saying something like this:
"Today you will take me out for a short ride. During the test I'll give you some easy and simple directions to follow. During the test, if I don't say anything, keep going straight. If you need to turn, I'll give you early notice. If you don't understand any of my directions, you can ask me to repeat them. We will do 2 maneuvers today, 1 curbside stop,
which is actually a straight parking,
and one 3-point turn.
For your information, at the test you will be asked to either do a 3-point turn or reverse parallel park, not the both. He then might say,
Do you have any questions to ask?
if you do so, I suggest you ask him right now. Don't be scared to ask any question. You have not started the driving test yet, so if you have any confusion, clarify it now, as you won't be able to take any assistance from the examiner during your driving. If you get confused with your left and right directions, you can request the examiner to show hand directions along with the verbal directions. If you are ready, tell him I'm ready. Then he will ask you,
When you're ready, pull out from the parking, and I'll tell you where to go next.
note, you might be super nervous at this point of your driving, and I completely agree with you. Even if I had to do the test right now, I would feel more or less same like you. But keep these two things in your mind, which will change the total scene and will help you to pass the test more obviously. Firstly, keep in mind that you don't need to pass the test. What do I mean by that? Well, you can't pass or fail yourself, as you are not marking. It's the examiner who is marking you. So, to pass or fail, it's not on your hand. However, two things are on your hand, and focus on these two things which will guide you to pass. Number one, drive safely. In each moment of your driving, you should give safety as the first priority. Whatever situation occurs, think what is the safest option at the moment and choose to do so. At the test, the examiner not checking how expert driver you are, rather how safe driver you are with reasonable good control of the car and good understanding of the different situations. Number two, don't commit any mistakes knowingly. As you have practiced and learned the road rules, implement all those 100% as you drive and don't do any mistake knowingly, being out of focus. However, if you have done any mistake, don't keep pondering on it while you are driving. Dwelling in it may cause you to make a major mistake which may cause you a fail. Secondly, being with a stranger who is constantly marking all your actions as you are driving is uncomfortable. But don't keep thinking the examiner is staring at you all the time. Think this way, the examiner is also a usual person like you and me. What you are thinking and feeling doesn't actually affect what he is marking. He is marking only what you are doing. So, your actions are the most important. Either it's been ticked as correct or circled as a mistake. However, his pen scratching on the score sheet should not distract you. Rather, focus 100% on the road conditions and your driving. If you concentrate on the road conditions for a safe driving throughout the test, detailing everything around you will divert your fear of the examiner to a positive concentration, which is a key point for a successful driving test.